Hey everybody, thought I would go live. Now that I got the room cleaned out a little bit, see what everybody's up to. If anybody is available. We had the day off of work today because of, well, we're getting a major snowstorm here in Texas. And I just wanted to see if anybody wanted to come on and chat for a little bit. So we'll wait a minute and see what's happening. Oh. Well, hey there, Broomstick. How are you doing today? So glad to see you on here. This was a kind of a impromptu thing. How's things been going in your neck of the woods? I tried recording several different videos and I've got a couple in the pipeline, but I've decided to kind of hold off on it a little bit. It's a snowy day, my kid's off of school, my wife is still working, she works from home, so she doesn't get the pleasure of having a day off like we do sometimes. So, Broomstick, you say you're doing okay? You're staying inside with all the snow. Getting more tonight. Yeah, I know. Are you in Texas? Because we're getting a bunch more tonight as well. I kind of like it. But anyway, back to what I was saying. Can you hear me okay, by the way? I have to wear these stupid earphones because if I don't, then I get feedback from this setup. I'm not super technologically advanced. Oh, you're in Illinois. Okay. What's been going on, Broomstick? How you doing? Gen X, what's up? Well, Gen X, we're enjoying a snow day. And if you guys can see behind me, this used to be jam crammed. I have decluttered quite a bit. And I'm going to show you guys in the next video how much I actually got done. Quite a bit, actually. Could be a little louder. Okay, let me see what I can do here. Maybe if I just adjust the microphone a little bit, how's that sound? What are you guys doing on this snowy day anyway? Ducking drones, hiding from fog. It's been crazy. I just couldn't believe the other day, yesterday when I shot that video, I was out there and all those people, all those sleepwalkers out there in their pajamas. I gotta put my glasses on. I'm old, guys. Broomstick says you can come over and help me do my basement. I just don't bring your shadow spook. No kidding. I'm telling you what, that's some freaky stuff, guys. It's a little better. Not sure what's going on with my audio. Let me tweak it here a little bit. That was muted. Let me try turning down this audio. See if that's any better. Maybe turning up the gain a little bit on the mic here might help a little bit too. Like I said, guys, sorry, technologically challenged. Gen X asks, what do you think of the state of the job market? People are giving up. Homeless. 2025 should be interesting. 2025 is going to be fascinating. What do I think of the job market? I don't know. It's the job market's kind of interesting right now. We have here in Texas where I live anyway. It doesn't seem to be any lack of jobs, for I guess use of a better term, but at the same time, the jobs don't pay that well. I have a soft voice. Somebody ought to tell my wife that. It's real interesting. My wife has asked me that I don't reveal this yet, but we're going to be starting to do some, let's just say, make our own way without spoiling too much. We're going to be doing, well, our own business. Yeah, the homeless situation is also pretty bad as well. But I think it's always been bad. It's just, I don't know. We'll see what happens after the new administration comes into office. Hopefully, the job situation will improve. We'll see on that. Broomstick says, here is weird. I've heard people say there are plenty of jobs, then others looking and putting out resumes and not getting anywhere. Yeah. I think it depends on what you do for a living. I really honestly have not looked too much at what the job market's been doing. Just been kind of laser focused on what's been going on with all the orbs and UFOs and drones and fog and all that stuff. Yeah, rent is crazy. Broomstick says rent is crazy, and she's not kidding. It's much cheaper to own a home if it's within your means to do so. But even that's not really cheap. So I want to throw by a theory to you guys. Yeah, AI is. It's taking a lot of my wife's job away. She this morning reported to me that they canned another 10 people out of her job. So, and AI is doing a lot of it, yes. Ryan Brown, welcome, Ryan. After January 20th, they're going to be letting the markets dump. They've been artificially propped up for too long. That's very possible. So I wanted to throw this out there and see what you guys think. I believe that all these drones, UAPs, this fog, and all this stuff are really just a major distraction to test and see how the public is going to react. Almost like a test run. What do you guys think of that theory? Meaning that they have something major in the works, but they want to see how far they can push things first. Well, I got to be careful what I say here on YouTube, but just like we'll call it the little C, the event of, yeah, they are still censoring. The sniffles, shall we call it, of the event of several years ago was a test run. It's possible. Hey, my son's on here. Hey, Hayden. Nicholas Parrish, keeping people on edge. Yep. Well, broomstick, I can't say the word that everybody knows I'm talking about. Gen X says, well, I'm super curious about the course correcting object headed towards the Earth. And they may be preparing for us for an arrival. Now, when I reported on that, there hasn't been, it's just like got shut down on that course correcting object. It's supposed to be massive, and it was detected, I believe, by the European Space Agency first. And then I heard rumors also that the James Webb Telescope picked it up as well. And the interesting thing is that they believe it's under intelligent control because it is doing course corrections towards Earth. I also know that certain members of the government were briefed on this. But then the story just died. These guys think long term, hundreds of years in advance, and always test runs. Ryan, you're absolutely correct. They're in it for the long game. That's why I don't think that this. Don't get me wrong, I respect Dr. Greer. I don't know him personally at all, but I respect the body of work that he's done. But I just think he's wrong about this Project Bluebeam thing. I believe honestly that it is something that they're going to. It's a distraction. Oh, my wife is standing in the doorway looking at me now. Everybody's hearing me talk to myself in this room that I just cleaned out. Everybody thinks that I'm either crazy or I've gone live, dear. Do you want to come in and be on camera with everybody? No? She's going, no, not right now.
I was just wondering who you were talking to.
I'm talking to my friends here.
About what?
Anything they want to talk about. We're all over the place today, aren't we, guys? My wife's like, what are you guys talking about? It's a snow day here in Texas, so it's a good day to go live. I thought maybe some people, now I got an entire audience. My boy and my wife are standing over here. I won't put you guys on camera, though, don't worry. Oh, here comes the ham. There's my son. His name is Hayden. No, this isn't a buddy. Go on. This isn't a buddy chat. Sorry about that. So, Nicholas Parrish. Valves and transistors is human tech. The massive leap to silicon chips from transistors was undoubtedly alien tech. Yeah, it's been seeded for a long time. What was that book that was written? Was it by Corso that wrote about how we never had Velcro before the Roswell and night vision and things like that? That's right, folks. When I go live, it's a family affair around here. Anyway, now that I'm done being distracted by my lovely family, don't get me wrong, I love them. Um, the theory is basically you've got a truth, and then you've got lie on top of lie on top of lie, right? And they're kind of sandwiched. The truth is kind of sandwiched there in the middle somewhere. I know someone left me a comment one time stating that if you really want to know the truth about what's going on, stay up till about 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning and you'll hear a one-liner that they'll let slip because they're all tired, the 24-hour news cycle. But then you won't hear it again. Gen X, you remember that book? Yeah, I can't remember what it was called, but I read it a long time ago. But anyway, so here's what I think. I think that it's a test run to see how much they can push us again. They already pushed us in other ways, which I can't discuss on here. You guys feel free to discuss whatever you want in the chat. But it's a test run to see if people are going to notice. And it's genius, guys, because nobody cares except for us. But nobody really cares. Yeah, I mean, in a video I got coming up, I'm like, you know what? Look, there's another one of those drones they've been talking about. Those crazy people. I can see it with my own eyes, but the government tells me not to worry, so I'm good. Kennifer, I found you via FedEx. Okay, cool. For those of you that don't know, this channel, Not Timmy66, used to really be geared a lot towards day in the life stuff. I used to do a lot of work-related stuff when I worked for FedEx. I still do it from time to time. I do some Amazon stuff, and I delivered for Amazon. I also used to deliver Uber Eats and stuff like that, and that was a lot of fun doing those videos. But I made a change in the channel because I wanted to discuss the things that really, really fascinate me, and that's the mysterious, the unexplained, and things along those lines. So that's what I've kind of done. My son says he doesn't read books. It's exactly what I'm talking about. And my son says, what's the drones? Hayden, we'll have a talk later. Yeah, Kennifer, I just decided that I wanted to make the channel. This channel's always been kind of an eclectic channel anyway. You wouldn't be surprised to see me throw up something about cooking or freeze drying food, or like I threw a video on about decluttering my house and decluttering my life. I kind of do what I want to do on this channel, but I changed the focus around to what I feel is really, really important stuff. Yes, working is important. Yes, finding out what jobs are going to pay you well is important. But what the government has planned and what's going on really in this world is a lot more important. Anyway, I'm so easily distracted. A truth sandwiched between a bunch of lies. And see, the end game on that, they win in both ways, because they can come back to the general public, the sheeple, the people that are asleep, and they can say to them, see, all these drones and everything, we told you that it was nothing out of the ordinary. We told you that this fog was just part of a normal weather pattern that we go through in the winter months. We told you all this stuff, and there was nothing to it. There's been no alien invasion. There's been no this. There's been no that. There's none of that. These people are crazy. So not only do they win by taking note of how much people didn't notice what was going on, they also win by discrediting those of us that know something's going on. Gen X said, did you see the video where the guy was saying it's Venus and he was mocking everyone? I have never seen Venus glow and rotate and shapeshift. Yes, I did see that video. And let me tell you something. It didn't really tick me off, but I was like, dude, that's not Venus. See, I believe honestly also that there is a phenomenon in the air that is not of this earth. Maybe it's interdimensional, maybe it's alien life, maybe they're already here and they've been here for a long time. But I think some event happened, some form of getting us closer to a disclosure event, and the government didn't want to see that. There's nothing they can do about it, but they can muddy the waters by sending up their own drones and things like that and making people see drones and just mixing things up. I believe 100% that happened. Trending top hits. Hey, FedEx dude, good seeing you. Good seeing you too. Trump tunes. Hi. FedEx guru. Okay. Oh, you're doing FedEx while watching this video? Awesome, dude. Hey, man, anytime you can multitask and do your job and make money and do what you like at the same time, it's worth it. But what do you guys think of that? I mean, do you guys think honestly that there is something to that, or is it just the ramblings of a getting older dude that might be slightly paranoid? I'm catching up on the comments here, guys. I'm sorry, I didn't just shut down here. See, I think it's all coming to a crescendo. Whatever the truth is that's really out there is getting to a point where it's going to be revealed. And I don't think that the government can, or the powers that be, or whoever, can really do anything to stop it. But they can do what they can to muddy the waters, to keep control, because control is power. What were the negative effects of the fog? Gen X asks, what are the negative effects of the fog? I drove through it and it was creepy. Well, I've heard several different stories. There's some people that get like a real bad sore throat and stuffy nose, almost like cold symptoms, to people that have actually been bedridden for 2 or 3 days. I've also heard that it's affecting animals weird. That animals that normally love to run outside and do that stuff, like you let your dogs out in the backyard at night or your cat out at night or whatever, aren't wanting to go out anymore. Trump Tune says, and UFOs are watching us as a zoo. It's a possibility. I don't know if it's necessarily a zoo mentality, just more of a study. So Trump Tunes also says, how do you feel that we're living inside of a UFO fish tank? So maybe the prison planet theory? It's possible. I mean, if you subscribe to David Icke's theories, um, they're soul catchers, which is a possibility. I don't discount anything. Matter of fact, I believe David Icke's theory is that there's some kind of a monolith on the moon that's basically a control device, and that there are reptilians that feed off of human negative emotion, almost like a food sustenance. Yes, David Icke is a legend. I'm not dismissing him. Don't get me wrong. He's got a very long, very, very long shadow. My son Hayden says, I find the theory that we live in a simulation interesting. That's also interesting, Hayden. You're right. It's hard to disprove. Yep. So Ryan Brown said a fog test came back with a bacteria. And this makes sense since it needs to stay moist to survive transmission or to be transmissible. Yep. And did you guys see that one video that was out there where the guy had his porch light on and the fog, the heavy, you could see each particle in the fog? Interesting. Oh, and then by the way, the if you watch the legacy media, which I know most of us on here don't, you would believe, honestly, that this drone thing has gone away, and it actually hasn't. The FAA has expanded like a no-fly space over more parts of the East Coast now. It's just not being reported. Yeah, Broomstick, I will say that David Icke is a legend. Um, some of his theories could be out there a little bit, but then again, a lot of people could say my theories are out there a little bit too. I mean, I think it's important to listen to everybody because I think the truth is definitely. I sound like X Files. The truth is out there. Matter of fact, that's or I want to believe that's you can't see it, but that's my poster on the wall. But the truth is somewhere in the middle. Nicholas Parrish says problem, reaction, solution. Broomstick says he's just a little too weird for me, but I do listen. Yeah. And that's the same thing I feel about Greer, honestly. He's a little out there on the. There are. I'm a little more suspicious than Dr. Greer is in regards to the agenda of this non human intelligence. I'm not 100% convinced that they have humanity's best interests at heart. And I think it's because of our nature. I honestly believe that they see what we've done with technology, nuclear, biological, the wars, things like that. And it often makes me wonder how much do they really want us to have super advanced technology? Because right now we may not be a threat to them, but we're pretty smart. Pretty smart little violent apes. I was watching another channel called Homesteading Off the Grid, and he's been doing quite a few reports about the fog, and he's been doing quite a few reports on the orbs and drones and things like that. And he's gotten sick after seeing one of these orbs in the sky, and his wife got sick as well. And he is reading letters that are being sent into his channel. You guys should check out his channel. He's got a really good channel. Um, but his theory is right in line with mine, where I think that all of this is a distraction and a way of discrediting a lot of people because they don't want us to be awake, guys. Seems like Greer is being, Ryan Brown says, seems like Greer is being allowed to soft disclose. Maybe. But he's been talking about this for a long time. Gen X says they are trying to achieve artificial superintelligence so we can go toe to toe with the alien invaders, and that may very well be the case. We may need a big shot in the arm like that to expand our capabilities more quickly than we normally would be able to. That's a very interesting theory. Very. And it may not be a theory, it may be truth. I heard that we actually already have uh, achieved a quantum computer through Google. Google's achieved it, I believe. And I didn't watch the video, but I got something in my feed on YouTube that was showing me that they found proof of the existence of another dimension. I don't know much about it. The end game is a police state. Well, yeah, of course, for control. Broomstick says the series The Colony was about that, but it got canceled. I haven't seen that one. I'll have to check that out. Called The Colony? I'll write that down. The Colony. Interesting. I don't know, guys. There's just so many theories out there. It's crazy. And it's crazy what's going on, but I'm telling you guys, since I made that video like 8 months ago about something big is coming, I have not been able to shake the feeling. And I also know that something big is on the way. And my eyes were open to a lot of things. You know, it's one thing to say, oh yeah, you see people on their phones do all the time, and then just really notice it, if you know what I mean. Nicholas Parrish says the Large Hadron Collider is an interesting piece of kit. Yes. Haven't heard much about the Large Hadron Collider lately. Is there some new reports out there? Ryan Brown says, weird how they canceled the new V series. I didn't know there was a new V series. Really? Man, dude, I love V. That was way ahead of its time. See, and I think it could all be tied together. Spawn 23. Quantum processor will drastically change the world very quickly. Some good things, but also in some bad ways. I was going to share with you guys. Let me see if I can find it on my phone. A comment that I found very, very interesting here. See if I can find it. Several. But I wanted to read you guys this one. This is from... I just got a notification that I'm on live. How nice. I'll watch that later. So, Yellowbird 5411, she posted this comment 3 weeks ago. And it may not be a she. I'm not sure. Yellowbird, if you're watching, let me know. Yellowbird says, well, here's another speculation. Consider that all these sightings are not the same shape. Some lighting or same lighting or capacity. Some, as you describe it, are balls in the sky that you say Iran could not blow up. I don't know if that's true, but let's take that at face value. Perhaps many of these drones are ours and are hanging around the sensitive areas as a protective shield against other UAPs that are not ours. Maybe we have our stuff up there too, but perhaps they can't tell us that we are shielding our top secret and other areas due to unknown presence that cannot be brought down. Maybe they have tried and nothing happened. Just a thought. So, is there like a war going on over our heads that we don't know about? So, one person that commented on my channel first had said that they thought that they kind of bought the how do I put this, the super destructive weapon sniffing technology story that was out there. And then he backtracked, and I wanted to read his comment. I'm looking for it right now. Chat amongst yourselves while I do that. It's quite a long one, so bear with me. Of course, now that I went live and I told you guys about it, I can't find it anywhere. I love you guys' comments, by the way. They're awesome. Spawn 3 says tech will advance quickly with the use of quantum computing. Yes. Gen X says the scientists we have today are not the smart type we had in the 50s and the 60s who dealt with a great deal of math. We have willy-nilly people now. Okay, here it is. I found it. So here's the comment, and this was left on my video, Red Alert, Breaking Drone UAP Orb Activity Update. And it's by QSO3566, and he left this 2 weeks ago. He says, it's obvious that you sense something is very off, and I agree. I was in the camp of believing the drones are sniffing for, shall we say, radioactive material. I have to edit this down a little bit because of the YouTube gods. Now I'm not so sure at all. I'd like to mention something I find interesting. It has been confirmed that Trump has already been receiving security briefing, which are, as far as I understand, it means that he would either know the drones are ours or he would know they are not, right? However, he recently posted on his Truth Social account. He said, I'm not on there, but I saw a copy of the post as follows. And this is what Trump posted on Truth Social verbatim. Mystery drone sightings all over the country. Can this really be happening without our government's knowledge? I don't think so. Let the public know. And now. Otherwise, shoot them down. Donald J. Trump. Then he continues. Not Trump. QSO continues. So why did he post that? He's all but saying in that post that he has no clue about the origins of the drones. Don't you find that extremely peculiar and frankly concerning? I'm also I'm on Twitter, X, and it's very telling in my opinion that Elon Musk, who allegedly sends rockets into space and intends to put people on Mars, has posted virtually nothing about the drone activity. Wouldn't you think he'd be actively commenting, even daily, or something like that? Given how Trump and Musk are such dynamic duo these days, I find it odd that Trump is leading people to believe he knows nothing about the drones and Musk is all but mum on the subject. Thought I'd toss these bits of information into the mix for consideration. Something is very weird and I don't know what it's leading up to, but there is a definite feeling of uneasiness. I think people in America are probably not prepared for the things that are going to happen in 2025. Just my 2 cents. And I did reply to him. What do you guys think of that? All right, back to the comments. Gen X. The scientists we have today are not this. Okay, I read that one. Nicholas Parrish says aliens hold life in a very high esteem, pretty much like our own conservationists. We are in zero danger from anyone other than ourselves. You guys really think so? Do you agree with Nicholas? He makes a valid point, and I'm not saying you're wrong, Nicholas. And maybe they do hold human life in such a huge regard. Okay, a high regard. I would like to think so. But does all alien life hold it in that regard? Or are there others that could care less? I hold strong to a theory that we are of interest maybe as a developing life form, but I think the main interest more than anything else is not really human beings. I think it's the earth itself. I believe that and we know there are thousands and thousands and millions and billions, as Carl Sagan would say, of exoplanets out there and moons. But I think planets like Earth are rare. The perfect distance from their star, the right amount of water, the right kind of atmosphere, and we're just teeming with life no matter where you look. In the most inhospitable places, from microbes to everything else. And I think that's what's rare. And I also think that if we take a look at it from an environmental standpoint or an environmental viewpoint, that we may be just viewed as a life form on this planet that is wiping out this planet. And I don't know if all of the alien civilizations, the non-human intelligence that's out there, would be quite as willing to let us complete the task at hand. You know what I mean? In other words, allow us to destroy everything. Again, it's just my theory. Gen X says Musk will create a technocracy and will be our one world leader. I don't know about that. Maybe. People don't like Musk. Why is that? Just don't trust him? It's interesting. I just know something's going on. And it's weird. I could give you guys a shadow people update if you'd like. I don't know if you guys caught my video, but I did see something out of the peripheral. My peripheral, however you say that, vision. Haven't heard anything since I reported that, though. And it was weird because we stirred things up in the house. This house is not that old. It was built in the 70s. But we're tearing it up, as you guys can probably see behind me. I've got this right here is a mirror from our bathroom. We're not destroying the place, but we had to do major foundation work and window work and all different kinds of stuff to the house. And it's been suggested that sometimes you stir up things when you make major changes to a structure. I found that very interesting. Nicholas Parrish says Musk is a bit of an oddball. Yes, he is, but I think honestly you find that with most geniuses, like super genius people. I've been privileged to know quite a few, well, not quite a few, but a few people in my life that are just like way up here on the scale of super genius, and they're all a little quirky and they're all a little strange. I think it's because they operate on such a higher level. I don't find Musk that threatening. But maybe I'm way off. Maybe I'm asleep when it comes to that. I don't know. You know, one thing I've often wondered too is if they wanted to get AI going and do this quantum computing and mix it with AI, don't you think that would kind of like peel the lid back on everything as far as us knowing about other civilizations, the program, as it were? Spawn 23 says, as far as tech, have a look at the 2045 initiative. The end game is to be able to upload human consciousness to an artificial carrier. Yeah, I've heard that. Would you guys do it? Would you upload your consciousness? We could live forever that way. And what is it about the human consciousness anyway? Do we feel, is it rare? I mean, are there other life forms out there, but they don't have the consciousness that we have? It's fascinating stuff. So Spawn 23 says no, and Broomstick says no. Gen X says only if the AI choose to share its information with us. I think once it gets smart enough, it would stop responding to us. Yeah, I agree with that. Matter of fact, I think that honestly, it would take a look at us and say, we don't really need you. I don't know. It's a crazy world. It's a crazy universe. Has anybody ever stopped to wonder why we're pushing the AI so hard when we know what the ramifications could be? Or we know what they are, actually? Why is it that we're pushing so hard? Is it because all the other countries are and we're worried? So, you guys, so Spawn 23 said no, and Broomstick said no to uploading consciousness into an AI. And Broomstick said, I don't want to be stuck here. I want to go on and learn other things and places. Hopefully, not reincarnated. My son said, easy schoolwork. Yeah, Hayden. Till they catch you using the AI and then you get a 0. Ring any bells? Gen X says it's got to be the course correcting object that's on its way, and it may very well be. The first thing I thought about when all these drone reports started happening and everything like that was that and maybe it's from my military background, the first thing I thought was before you take something over, before you invade another country, before you do whatever, you probe, right? You not send probes per se, but you probe the enemy or the person that you want to occupy. You find out where their strengths lie, where their weaknesses lie. So one of my very first thoughts on this was, oh, well, these are like advanced scouts. Spawn 23 says that AI could be a force for good, but like everything, there's a possibility of bad things happening or influence for a bad outcome. Yes. And any time we've ever gotten some superior technology, has it turned out well for us? Not always. That's for sure. But my observation on the other thing I wanted to talk about was my observation about society. And and I'm not a sociologist or anything like that, but society is so asleep that it boggles my mind. people don't even get dressed after they get out of bed anymore. And is that because most people are working from home and they just wear it all the time, so they don't think anything of it, and they're just going to be at the store for a minute, whatever? Is it just the way I was raised that you... Why is everybody wearing pajamas and slippers to the store? I mean, it'd almost be laughable because we say they're asleep, right? Ha ha. Gen X says bad actors and AI is scary stuff. It is scary stuff, Gen X. It really is. It's frightening. And we're creating it. It doesn't compute sometimes. Gen X says the cell phone was the greatest invention to pacify people, and I would 100% agree. It's a walking sleeping pill that we all carry willingly around in our pocket. I mean, mine's right here. If I can pick it up without dropping it, mine's right here. I'm not going to lie. Broomstick says, I wear slippers, but it's because I can't wear normal footwear anymore. Well, okay. I mean, that's understandable. I'm not talking about some kind of a condition where you can't wear normal shoes anymore. My sister-in-law, one of my sister-in-laws has rheumatoid arthritis, and she suffers from that, where she can only wear a certain type of shoe due to what the arthritis is doing to her. So there are definitely medical reasons behind it, but the people I'm talking about are just... I don't think that's the issue. Maybe I'm wrong. Nicholas Parrish says that the problem with AI is the people who programmed it haven't included contentment in its algorithm, so its trajectory is exponentially upwards. Nicholas, I think I understand what you're saying. Haven't included contentment. I can't talk today, guys. I'm sorry. I swear all I've had to drink is coffee. Contentment in its algorithm. Fascinating. All tools for control. My pet hate is mobile phones. Screen zombies, yep. Gen X says no rules. Like the 3 laws of robotics. Nothing. Totally. Unfettered. Yeah. The 3 laws, was that from Ray Bradbury? Ray Bradbury's Foundation series? Maybe I'm off. I don't know. You know what? And then there's times, guys, where I think, you know what? Maybe I'm just being absolutely crazy. Maybe I'm just reading way too much into this. Maybe I just need to settle down and stop thinking that everything is the way it is, because I'm seeing it with a conspiratorial mind. And I'll almost convince myself of it at times, where I'm like, you know what? Not Timmy, you're just being ridiculous. You need to stop. And then something else happens. Gen X says, well, Tim, you didn't imagine the drones. That's that's very true. Or the fog. Or the, should we call it the C word? Has to do with hospitalization and problems. Didn't imagine that either. And that's before I started this channel. It's a huge responsibility to be awake. It's much easier just to fall asleep, isn't it? It'd be much easier to be, as Gen X called it, the drones that are just looking at their phones and living in the cyber world all the time. Much easier. Thank you, Spawn23. Spawn23 said, "You're not a conspiracy theorist, just a truth seeker like many of us." Yeah, and that's the truth. But with that truth comes responsibility. It's just fascinating. You know, as I'm known for saying on my channel, I'm 58, I'll be 59 in May. And never in my lifetime did I think I would see so many things come true that were just science fiction. It's incredible. And it kind of makes me sad in a way. It makes me long for the simpler times when we didn't know as much, when we weren't as connected, when we didn't have all these things going on. And there's some really deep rabbit holes that you can get down to when you think about human consciousness and you think about, let's just say, the role of religion in society and things like that. Gen X said, "I read Kurzweil's book about the singularity, and I really thought it would happen in the 2040s, not now." No, I think it's much more accelerated. You know, keep in mind what they say, too. What is it they say? That most people that, or it's like the technology that we think is so new and advanced now, our government is probably 20, 30 years ahead of that. So where are we really with technology? Spawn23 says, 100% accurate. The world no longer feels like the place I'm from. It has changed so much, and not in a good way. Jen Hartman, welcome. Much knowledge comes much sorrow. I don't think I could put it better than that. The more we learn about what's really going on, I'm telling you, you've got to be, what's the word I'm looking for? You've got to be really well grounded. You've got to be somebody that has a very strong constitution to keep looking into this stuff. I think honestly that's why most people look away. They don't want to know. They don't want to know the truth. The truth can be too dark and scary. With much knowledge comes much sorrow. Wow. You would hope that with much knowledge comes much enlightenment. I don't know. Anyway, that's depressing. Well, you brought it up. So I've got big plans for 2025. Obviously, decluttering is one of them. We're going to finish up the house. We've got people coming in to finish the rest of the flooring in the house. I've got a little bit more work to do there. Most of the bulk of the major work is done except for in our dining room area. Well, it used to be called our dining room. Now we have food prep in there, and we're going to be starting a business in there. So we're going to be setting up kind of like a studio in there. And again, my wife has asked me to keep mum on it until we're more ready to start. But I'm super excited about it. it's not a get rich quick plan, or I know I'm not starting a video series or I'm going to try to sell you stuff. I'm just excited about it because I can get back, I believe, hopefully, if this is done right, to working for myself, which I used to do. And I've missed working for myself quite a bit. So hopefully we can throw off the shackles of the employer, so to speak, and become financially independent. Don't worry, you guys. I'll be taking you along for that ride. Truth is stranger than fiction. Jenny nailed it. Truth is stranger than fiction, and the more you know, the sadder you can become. You nailed it. Gen X says, hey, Tim, maybe the aliens, well, he put an alien head up there, have the same idea. Declutter the earth. See, that's what I'm getting at with this whole thing. And I just can't get past the thought that enters my brain. And that thought is that we are just these hairless, violent little apes running around the planet, creating all this havoc and destroying things destroying something, or working on destroying something that is so rare. We may not be the only planet that can support this kind of life, but I think it's rare. I think it's a lot more rare than people believe. And I think that we could be looked at as a problem, a real problem. I don't know. I just think maybe they're not like, look, we just want to wipe them out, because that's maybe the human perspective on things. We see a problem, we're going to stamp it out. Maybe they're trying to work with us more. Maybe they're not as homicidal as we are. But decluttering the earth, it may come to that. And what really angers me about that is who speaks for humanity when it comes to that? Who really speaks for humanity? Is it this shadow government? Or do we, the people, get to speak for humanity? My wife's back at the door. Hi, honey.
What are you saying about me now?
Saying that you're standing at the door.
No, for that.
Huh?
No.
Oh, I was telling everybody, my wife's asking me what I'm talking about with her involved, which she has a right to know. I was telling them that we have big plans for 2025 and hopefully a way of maybe becoming a little bit more financially independent. But you have asked me, and you guys back me up on this, because she's looking at me with that look that will scare me more than aliens ever will. That you have asked me not to say anything until we're ready, and therefore I have not said anything. She's laughing now. I've said that we're planning. Well, but I haven't. They don't know what's planned yet.
Oh, okay.
They don't have any idea.
All right.
So that's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
I'm saying that I'm excited about it, and I can't wait to share what's going to happen with them.
Okay.
Because I did have somebody come on here that was like, hey, what happened to... I'm sorry, I'm talking to my wife. I know this is so rude. But, you know, she's the boss. But I had somebody come on here earlier that was talking to me about what happened with the FedEx thing and the way the channel used to be run. If you just joined me, I used to run this channel about day in the life stuff and getting jobs and working for yourself and things like that. And the focus of the channel has obviously changed. But anyway,
Yeah, that's because corporations don't want hardworking people anymore.
corporations don't want hardworking people anymore. That's very true. They care less. So anyway, I got on the subject of maybe becoming a little bit more financially secure. I know this is hard for you.
Your lawn care business?
No, well, they know that I had a lawn care business. And I said that I'm looking forward to what I honestly said was that I'm looking forward to um, the possibility that I may be able to work for myself again and not somebody else. And it's a very viable, doable thing. So, super excited. I don't want to say any more.
And it's not gonna put you out in the freaking
Right.
heat stroke.
Well, it's just another example. I was talking about decluttering my life and decluttering our life like we're decluttering this house, and that's another example. Becoming more self sufficient, becoming more food stable, sustainable things, not relying on outside forces to live your life. Gen X said that we all know that look. Yeah.
What?
I said that you were giving me a look. He said we all know that look.
Oh, okay. Not my particular look, but the look.
Gen X says, why don't corporations want hardworking people?
Good question.
That's a very good question.
But you were a hardworking person and you kept getting laid off and fired.
I was, yeah. My wife said I was a very hardworking person that always was getting laid off, and that's, true. In my work life, I
Or screwed over.
got screwed a lot, yeah. All right, so Spawn 23 says the biggest issue with humans, I think, is the fact that we all live in excess and have more than we really need. Going back to the basics, being self sufficient is the way to go, and we agree.
Being happy with what you have.
Being happy, my wife just said, being happy with what you have. You should join in on this conversation.
Joining in on it.
But you're off camera, so it's weird. Everybody's like, who is he talking to? We knew he was crazy.
No, the problem is that we are raised to want more and to be ambitious, which is not a bad thing. But when you've got everything that you need and you don't need anything else, what do you do at that point? Then you start becoming unhappy because you've got so much stuff.
Yeah.
You don't know what to do with yourself.
Yeah, my wife was talking about the excesses, and she's right. You get to a point where you've got so much stuff that you don't know what to do with yourself, and actually stuff has never bought happiness anyway. Happiness comes from within, not acquiring more stuff. And I guess that's been the American dream. George Carlin did a great piece. I'm sure most of you on here that are watching this are very aware of the George Carlin piece about why we need more stuff. And you should watch it because he was way ahead of his time. And so Spawn 23, I agree with you that getting back to basics, realizing that stuff in life is not going to make you happy, will set you free. I gotta put my glasses back on, guys, because I can't read your comments because I'm old. Jen Hartman, they won't need as many people because the artificial intelligence that goes to the Georgia Guidestones. Yeah, they still don't know. Well, I think they know who blew those up, but the kingdom of heaven is within. That's very true. Jen Hartman is someone that is just like, she nails it every time. Truth is stranger than fiction. Much knowledge. The more knowledge you have, the more sorrow you have. Jen, you are just on it. But what my wife was saying was true. How much stuff do we really need? Well, if you look at our government, you need more and more and more and more and more. Guys, I will say that this Christmas for us was very nice because we didn't spend a whole ton of money. I mean, we bought our daughter and our son some things that they wanted and desired after, but they're still, teenager, young adult years. So, and it's plus it's always fun to do things like that, but we didn't go in excess. You know what I mean? It was more of a Christmas based upon the fact that we could spend it together and just enjoy each other's company and spend time together than it was about the latest and greatest. And that was very refreshing. Yes, Jen Hartman said TV tells us we need it all, and they do. I mean, look where I work, guys. I mean, I work for one of the biggest sellers of stuff there is out there. And don't get me started on their DEI policies. Goodness gracious. That's a whole different video, probably. I don't know, though. I think humans were always seeking more stuff. I think we always have been. But the rate of consumption, at least in the United States anyway, is ridiculous. So that's what I think's going on, guys. I really do. Honestly, getting back to my original reason for getting on here, and I've gone off on 15 million different tangents and things like that, but I honestly think that that's what's going on. I really believe that it's a distraction and it's to test how the plan's going so far. Let's test and see how the people, let's take their temperature. Let's put something out there and see how they react. And if we can have one talking head from one 3-letter agency come on and tell us that we're all crazy and everybody needs to calm down, and the majority of the public buys it, then we're winning. The plan's working. Spawn23 says, I'm leaving the UK to live in Hungary permanently this year. 12 acres. The plan, if it goes well, is to be 100% self-sufficient. Wow. Spawn23, awesome. We have similar goals, my wife and I. I can't say much yet, but let's just say we have similar goals. But then my mind, my truth-seeking, non-conspiratorial mind goes, you know what? You still got to live somewhere on the planet, right? Are you just trying to run away? Nicholas Parrish says, Spawn, that's nice. I have a place in the Czech Republic. Cool. Man, you guys are living the dream, I'm telling you. I can honestly tell you guys this. The way things are with society, I would not miss leaving it all behind. And that's the truth. I would not miss giving up the suburbs, the American dream, as it were. I would not miss it at all. They want, Jen Hartman says they want smart cities. I believe that there is a smart city already, like an experiment. Maybe I'm wrong. Smart cities. They can keep their smart cities. I'd rather have smart humans. I don't know. It's crazy. But they do have smart cities. So Nicholas Parrish says the Czech Republic is still a high trust monoculture. What does that mean? Iran, I think. Jen Hartman says Iran. Oh, in Iran they have smart cities? Maybe. Spawn 23 says that land is very cheap in Hungary. 12 acres with 4 homes. You have to help me. I think that's 40,000 euros. In the UK, that would cost millions. And what is going on in the UK? Don't get me wrong, I love hearing from my brothers and sisters that live in the UK, in the United Kingdom, but my gosh. There's been a lot going on there too, just like in the US. It's almost mirror. Either the US is mirroring the UK or the UK is mirroring the US, one of the two. And don't get me wrong, guys. I did, if you check my videos out, I did vote for Trump. I do think that, and I'm not going to get political, so I'm not going to go down that road. Don't worry about it. I do have a point here. I did because I think things were better, more prosperous, there was more opportunity with his leadership. Personally, do I like the guy? That's a whole different video. But I knew the way that things were going under the current administration, I wasn't happy with. So I voted for the change, as did a lot of Americans. But I get the sense, honestly, that it's a 4-year reprieve. It's almost like a boulder or like a snowball. If you had a snowball about this big and you're up on top of a mountain and you started rolling the snowball down the hill, it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And I get the sense that the juggernaut, the snowball, is pretty much unstoppable. Maybe I'm way off base, but I think honestly that it's just gotten too big. And Spawn 23, that is cheap. But what is a high trust monoculture? What does that mean? Anybody? Do I need to look it up? High trust mono. Oops. So, high trust culture. Oh my gosh. Sorry, guys. I'm coming back to your comments. I'm looking something up. All right, let's go for the short version here. What is a high trust culture? I put the glasses back on. They include turnover rates that are around 50% or less than industry competitors and stock market returns around 2 to 3 times higher than the average. High trust cultures are connected to greater levels of customer satisfaction. I don't think that's right. I don't think that's what you meant. Back to the comments. So if we go out and we live in the woods and we become self-sufficient and we live off the land and we learn to hunt and we learn to grow our own food or anything, is it just a certain amount of time before Big Brother comes looking for us and out in the woods? Can we truly be left alone? There's a cheery thought for you. Looking something up, guys. I'm not ignoring you. A good friend of mine off of my other channel, which I have neglected for quite some time, I have a motorcycle channel as well, has gotten onto my channel, and I liked what he said here. One of his comments, and he wrote, and it's from Moto Alley, said, "The work ethic is gone. People my age have terrible drive. People in their early 20s, some of them useless. I work with a bunch of younger people that eat out every single day because they don't know how to cook. Maybe it's where they came from. People coming from the countryside, I find, are harder workers. I keep saying these kids are going to run the country into the future and we're all effed." Can't say that word on here. But I guess we'll wrap it up with this. The skill level of most individuals here in the United States is very, very lacking. I mean, like I said in my video, you can't simply communicate, "I would like a hamburger with only this, this, and this on it," and expect to get it back right. I can't ask for a regular Coke without getting a Diet Coke. I can't order something specifically and get it processed through to me properly, and it's the exact thing I ordered. Some people don't even know how to tie their shoes. Whose fault is it? Is it ours? Well, partly, yeah. We didn't teach them. It's because it's easier to let our kids be babysat, I guess, by the internet and games and things like that than opposed to taking the time. Because we're too busy. Well, not us, but a lot of people are too busy being babysat by the same caretaker. Sad. I know. I'm just nothing but cheery today. So anyway, there's a lot more to come in 2025 from my channel anyway. We're going to continue to explore and seek the truth on these drones. I'm going to be unveiling some new things going on in my own personal life as far as we're doing a new business, changing things up quite a bit, simplifying things down. There's a lot of habits that I got into, the easy habits, which I'm breaking. So there's a lot of positive things coming on this channel. The rectangle of death. The rectangle of death. Nicholas Parrish said that. But there's some things to be excited for. I don't want everybody to be down in the mouth and just think, "Oh no, Big Brother is one and this, that, and the other thing." There are things that we can do to lead a normal, happy life. But it starts with getting rid of a lot of our exposure to this, I think. Come on. This is my dog, Jester. He's a good boy. Jenna Hartman says, "Walk in faith, not by sight. The eyes are the windows to the soul." Jester says, "My nose is my window to food." Oh, he loves food. So as we look forward to 2025, I want to say happy holidays to those that hadn't heard happy holidays from me. I want to say happy new year. I want to say that we are going to continue to keep exploring these big questions because they're important and they need to be answered. And this community will continue, I hope, to grow as we face what's coming and we keep opening more eyes. Let's grow the channel. Not for, like, okay, I'm not going to lie. It's nice to have more people notice. Thank you for that. It's nice to have more people notice what I'm saying, and it's nice to know that there's a lot of people in agreement with me out here. But guys, I'm not going to start trying to commercialize everything. And, you know, if the channel takes off and it honestly starts making a decent income, then that's just more of a way for me to do financial security without having to rely on the government or having to rely on this, that, or the other thing. And I'm not going to not lie, that's a nice pipe dream, but that's not the goal of this channel. The goal of this channel is honestly to have smart people, super smart people like you chime in and open other people's eyes so that, you know, maybe the people, I almost said schmuck because I was thinking of myself before I woke up. I was a schmuck. Knew something was wrong, but never questioned what was going on until I woke up. And while waking up can be kind of depressing, and while waking up can be kind of, I don't know, scary or strange, it's so much of a better way to live. And my goal is to just have as many people as possible, stop licking me, have as many people as possible awake like we are. That's all. I really thank everybody for joining me on the live today. I really do. There's more videos to come, guys. There's, you know, and like I say on this channel, sometimes you never know exactly what direction this channel is going to go in. It goes wherever I want to go with it, I guess, or where you guys lead me. So I just want to say I really, honestly, and you hear this from YouTube creators all the time, but I really, really do appreciate each and every one of you. I appreciate all your opinions. I appreciate your thoughts. You guys open my eyes more and more and more every single day. So I'm just the moderator on this channel. You guys are the lifeblood of it. You really are. Spawn23 says, thank you for the live chat. Stay safe. Stay lucky, everyone. And Jen Hartman says, walk by faith, not by sight. The eyes are the window to the soul. Nicholas Parrish, yes, the rectangle of death is as I call the cell phones. Thank you guys again so much for tuning in on this little impromptu live. I'm not real good at notifying people far in advance, and I should be. But I will leave it up for your pleasure of viewing later if you did miss it. I know this chat's been all over the place. This live has been all over the place. But I guess that's how we like it here. Right? Impromptu. No real rules except for just respect everybody's opinion. Keep an open mind. Guys, keep your eyes on the skies. Keep your eyes open to what's going on. When everybody in this crazy world is telling you to look this way, look the other way, because that's where what's really going on is happening. And we'll do our best here on Not Timmy 66 to keep reporting and opening your eyes. Share the videos out. Subscribe if you haven't so you don't miss any uploads. And we'll see you again on the next one, guys. Thank you again. My dog's going to start barking, so I'm going to go ahead and get off of here. But thank you guys again so much. for watching. We'll see you again real soon. Everybody take care.